I'm going to do to involve you in this sermon is to have you convert my subject to the first person and have you say with me, I can have it. And I want you to point to yourself as you say this. Together, everybody. I can have it. Now, I want all of you to stand. And I'm going to have you say that in a very sassy way. I told you this is a working sermon. This is a sermon which involves you. It's not just nice platitudes that I give you. You know, that good book, the Bible, declares that by your words you shall be justified, and by your words you shall be condemned. What does that mean? By your words you shall be rewarded, and by your words you shall be punished. It's important what you say in your heart. So I want you to speak some very strong words at this moment. Put your hand on your hip, if you will, and begin, as we say this, let your backbone slip. And these are the words that I want you to say with me in a moment. No one can tell me what I can't have. Come on. No one can tell me what I can't have. Did you put your hand on your hip and let your backbone slip? Now we're going to say it again, and we're going to shake it to the east and shake it to the west. Now, this may seem like nonsense to some people, but let me explain what I'm doing. I'm helping you to deposit this positive idea in your subconscious mind. And you see, when you stand like this and put your hand on your hip and let your backbone slip, this helps to embed this positive idea in your subconscious mind more firmly. Because here again the Bible says, as a man thinks, so is he. As a man thinks of himself, so is he. You see, this is another secret. It does not matter what other people think about you. It only matters what you think about yourself. There are two wonderful texts that I want to mention very briefly from this good old book called the Bible. The first text is from Mark, the 10th chapter and the 27th verse, and I want you to shout it back at me as I read it. Jesus said unto him, if you can believe, all things are possible to him who believes. The next text is from St. Mark, the 9th chapter, the 23rd verse, and I want you to shout that back at me as I shall read it to you. With God, all things are possible. And I want you to notice for a moment these two texts. One text states that with God all things are possible. The next text states, if you can believe, all things are possible to him who believes. Now notice for a moment, with God all things are possible, and all things are possible to him who believes. Therefore, the person who believes is God in action. You see, some of you thought that God was in the sky. Oh no. The person who believes in himself is God in action. And I want to give you a personal affirmation concerning this. Will you point to yourself and say with me, when I believe, I am God in action. Together, when I believe, I am God in action. I'm going to add something to it. When I believe in myself, I am God in action. Point to yourself and say this. Come on. When I believe, I am God in action. Now, aren't you glad you know who God is? Some of you never knew that. Isn't it wonderful to know that? Here again, this is what the mastermind Jesus meant when he said, you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. When you know that God is no longer in the sky, but that God is the mind, the power that is within you. When I believe in myself, I am God in action. Shout that again with me once more. When I believe in myself, I am God in action. You see, here in this philosophy, which we call the science of living, we have no outer gods, but rather the inner God, which is in every man. And we devote ourselves to the ministry of pointing out to every man the presence of God within himself. Now, the person who believes in himself is God in action, and all things are possible to him. You can have the good you desire if you believe in yourself. And so I want you to shout with me again affirmatively, I can have the good that I desire. I can have the good that I desire.